How is it going, guys? Malagant here. So we're gonna look into my paladin a little bit more. We'll talk about also what my next character is going to be, and I'll also highlight some like stuff. I found an item yesterday that was like absolutely insane, and I also had my first almost death scenario. I have a clip of that as well. I'll show you that one too, but I'll most likely make a short for the YouTube as well. Maybe I should have started this video after actually loading into the game. The loading screens are ramping up right now as we're coming to noon in Europe. There's something like very frustrating even for me, even though like I'm just doing more or less all the time, like seeing so many people saying in my chat like, oh, the loading screens today, because they just want to progress their characters through the campaign. It's kind of a bummer that like this game launched this way, because I think the game is insanely good. So right off the bat, I think I should show a little bit of gameplay, because quite a few people care about that, and I'm sure there are going to be new people that are joining to this video that are not necessarily aware like how the character is playing. So here how it plays. We are using a javelin to make a holy trail, and then I need to use the judgment. And if I use the judgment as a melee hit to something, I also gain healing proc on me, as you can see on the bottom left. You will be able to see it for the rest of the fights, or rest of the echo, the entire zone. So the javelin is going to be buffing my judgment, and judgment is going to be opening this aura around me, and the aura is going to be burning things. And our damage is not really ignite, it is damage over time, fire damage over time. Yeah, I was demonstrating something for something else, so the warpath doesn't really belong there. So apart from that, just like any other sentinel build out there, you can use volatile reversal, right? To buff yourself, and at the same time, debuff the enemy, increase the damage that they're going to be taking. So versus single targets, what we do is we stand next to them for 2 seconds, and then we use volatile reversal, and they're going to be taking much more damage from us. My damage numbers, so like, the first things that comes to mind is that like, what are like the downside of this character. Like the upside is like it's a very, very tanky character. Perhaps it's not the most mobile character, because you're literally just moving all the time. You don't necessarily have this like shift mechanic that the rogue has all the time, at least. And at the same time, like mana control can actually get a little bit hectic depending on how you want to play. If you want to deal much more damage with this, you have the capability to deal much more damage with this, much more. But the mana, like the more you want, the more issues you're gonna have with the mana, with the Pious Offering. So that's how the character plays. Alright, so where are we with the upgrades, guys? Yesterday, the only thing... Well, I'm not level 100 still. I've only gained like 3 levels yesterday. Apparently, it's pretty grindy. After 97 especially, it is very, very grindy. Just so you know. This is the only upgrade that I have gotten yesterday, guys. And this kind of like, made me realize something, and I have shifted some stuff. So we're going to be like talking about those now in my passives. So I've dropped all my nodes in Faith Armor. Faith Armor at the end of the day was only giving me 5% armor additively, for every click, because the crit immunity, I'm already getting it from my chest and from my helm. Helm implicit and chest explicit bonus damage taken reduction from crits. So I dropped Faith Armor and I put everything into Strength now on Dryad's Strength, and I have done the same for Sentinel. So unlike yesterday, the points are not in Fearless, they're in Juggernaut, for the sake of basically stacking armor. Because remember, Strength is giving us not only damage for my abilities, but at the same time it's giving me 4% armor. There's something very interesting in this game, is that like the main abilities attribute tags actually manage to like reflect to the sub ability as well. This is very, very interesting, but this is only for the attribute tags, remember. So for instance, Judgment has fire, spell, melee, damage over time, area, strength, and attunement. In this case, strength and attunement is going to reflect to consecrating ground as well, even though it is not said here. So consecrated ground over here says fire, spell, damage over time, area, but it is going to be taking strength and attunement from judgment as well. All right, so this works for literally everything. If your ability is putting ignite, for instance, your main abilities tags have intelligence, for instance. If it does, the ignite is going to be the ignite that you put with that ability alone is going to be managing to scale with it as well. It's very, very interesting mechanic. So that out of the way, I have stacked quite a bit more strength because, as I said, it's more consecrating ground damage for me, and I'm taking the same armor that I would have taken from Faith armor. So we're sitting at like 78% armor there. And for the rest of my points, I'm actually going to be trying the Divine Essence. Divine Essence is going to be... This is very interesting. The way that like it says you have a chance to be granted Divine Essence when you heal yourself or an ally. Now, the way that like this procs is you literally need to heal. So overheal doesn't count. Like you need to lose HP and then like you need to heal yourself with a healing mechanic, such as like the healing hands, right? And then you will have a chance to like gain this. So the extra points onto this is kind of worth, and I'm gonna go with like 99 and 100 levels into this as well to see if I can actually get maximum stacks. Maximum stacks is 3. Right now I can't even get 1. So I'm hoping it's going to be getting a little bit easier, because it's kind of bonkers. It's pretty insane. Like that, you know, Divine Essence granting you like armor and healing effectiveness at like 30%. That sounds pretty insane to me. So I'll try to like get this and see if I'm going to be able to gain it every now and then. If I had to call it something, it's kind of like a poor man's sigils. I think that's what it is. You know, it's exactly the same proc rate, kind of 6% per click, and it's trying to give the same things almost. So that out of the way, this got me thinking about my next character. This is very interesting because I want to do some sort of like a paladin once again. Color me surprised, right? I want to do some sort of like a very high attack speed warpath that is proccing. Okay, so that's going to be my next focus, and obviously like I'm all over the place with this right now. So like as these series are going, I will have, you know, my next videos are going to be like how that character is going to be progressing, and you know how I am doing and what I'm thinking at that point. So, but what I want to do is I want to incorporate Divine Bolts procs from Warpath. And also, I wanna proc the Winds of Justice, which is smiting around you as you warpath. So I wanna just like smite and Divine Bolt everything as I just like spin around, and I wanna have like the maximum movement speed that we can get with this. And so it will be more direct damage instead of like damage over time this time around. Perhaps like I'm gonna need to go crit damage. I'm not really sure. I have no idea. I'll see how it feels, how it goes. But yeah, I just want to have some fun, have like a good clear. I would imagine it's going to have like a little bit less single target even than this guy. But as long as it's going to be flashy and really fun to play, like that's what it is. So how did I come from Divine Essence to such a character? Let me explain. So I was thinking to myself, Divine Essence only like procs from a heal. Then I was thinking to myself, well, Healing Hands, as we discussed yesterday, is proccing from a melee hit as well. So when I hit, like as I just explained earlier when I was demonstrating the character, when I hit somebody, right, with my judgment, I have a Healing Hands proc as well. Is that the case for Warpath as well, I was thinking, all of a sudden, yes, in yesterday's stream. And I tried it. I put Warpath right over here, right? I tried it. And the answer is yes and no. So how it works is that like the first hit that you do with Warpath, it procs it. So for 4 seconds now you have a Healing Hands going on. But if you continue spinning, it won't proc it again. So you're going to need to like drop Warpath every 4 seconds and spin again. Not the worst thing, because I think there's no mana cost difference in this game, like in other ARPGs where you like start spinning, it's more expensive, and then continue spinning is like cheaper kind of thing. I don't think there's such a thing in this, as far as I know. There actually might. There is this channel cost and then there's mana cost. Okay, that's interesting. Well, at the end of the day, I think channel cost is more expensive than mana cost, it seems like. So it is not the worst thing to like stop and turn. I'm gonna need to look into this a little bit more. I'm just, you know, coming up with this as I go. So this is like very, very early thoughts of mine. So maybe to like proc healing hands, as I said, like you might want to like stop spinning just for a split second. So there you go, you proc the healing hands one more time. You know, it's that easy. I think that's what I'm going to be trying to do, in fact. So maybe dual wielding guy, it's definitely going to be much more squishier than this guy, and I would imagine it's going to be, you know, not capable of doing as hard content as this guy is doing. I don't think I've talked about the content that I'm doing right now. It's like 180 corruption. I can probably do something like even 300 if we play it right. I don't think about 300 is possible right now. Definitely not. When does it get scary? It gets scary right now if I do things like Deadly or Enrage. I still do them. They're easily doable, but I need to focus a little bit. So for instance, like Enrage is enraging halfway, right? When the monster's half health, they enrage. So I try to like finish them off. And Deadly is when you don't damage them for a while, they're deadly. And about this, I have a clip for you, in fact, right over here. Watch this one. Let's watch it together. So this is a deadly map on 180 corruption. And I'm a genius. I don't see that meteor rolling. And just headbutt it. The clip's name is Big Boom. Right over here, guys. This is when I did not know that I effed up. Right there. It's a 2.3k hits, guys. To a character like this one. With like 80% armor mitigation. Capped fire resistance, you see. That is how much it is hitting for. That is absolutely nuts, guys. I got so scared, it's crazy. 2.3k, look at that. 2307. I'm trying to understand like what's happened. To be honest with you, like watching like this, right? It is kind of surprising to you, like, okay, how do you not see it as like a giant ball? Come on, man, like, how do you not see it? Of course you're not supposed to be hit by that, etc. You know, but when you play like 8 hours straight, right, on stream, and at the same time, like, you've seen like the weather effect, it's all red everywhere, it just blends in, you're just going all the time. That is also why we're not higher corruption than this. So back to this topic, I think I'm going to try and like finish my character at 180, because like it's very easy for me to space out and like think about something else, or like, you know, what I can do with another build, etc. And in the meantime, just I go ahead and like headbutt a deadly monster. Obviously over there, like I'm also making the mistake of like not finishing them off, perhaps like commit and finish them off instead of like dragging them, but it's very easy to like speak in hindsight. So yeah, but that was the closest that I have got to death with this character, 100%. Apart from like some Oribus attempts as well, I had some like misplays there. Another thing that happened yesterday is that this guy right over here is gonna make some people jealous. Look at this guy, the Flight of the First. This is yet another item that is 100% worth making a character for. It is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. Definitely. So this is some sort of like a LP3 Falconer, I suppose. I'm not sure. I'm gonna need to look into this. But a couple of streamers are already playing something like this, so I can probably take quite a bit of inspiration. I just need to find like a good food for that item, let's say, right? Good exalted item to like feed on top of that, or slam on top of that, like LP3. So that's quite likely the best item that I have found so far in this game, 100%. So that out of the way, I'm looking for like upgrading a couple of pieces on this character. I'm looking forward to like getting 100, and then after getting to 100, I'll definitely like finalize my build and probably make a proper build guide. I'll try to like keep it a little bit shorter than 30 minutes, hopefully, because there's obviously quite a bit to cover, and obviously thinking somebody that's going to be absolutely clueless about the build and how the Sentinel works is going to be jumping into the video and watching that. So it's going to be pretty difficult for me to like put all that together, because this has been like an ongoing, you know, change of lots of builds and like, you know, skill points. You know, I started from the Holy Trail damaging, now I'm dealing more damage with the Judgment. Maybe it would be even better to put more points at this point to Pious Offering and finally make the sacrifice of some you know, rubber banding. I have no idea. I'm gonna need to cover all that in a certain, you know, build guide for sure before jumping into my next character. And maybe I'll do myself like a script so that like I said, it's a bit better as well. So today on stream, I'm going to be checking out the Divine Essence. I'll see if I can like somehow see like 2-3 stacks every now and then, because like I think it's very valuable if it can proc. Apart from that, there's some cool thing that I want to mention before like call this stream off. So I had this like weird confusion between like so characters self found, account found, and then like, you know, the regular multiplayer, and then there's now the Circle of Fortune as well. So like at the back of my mind, like why do we need so many things now that like this going on? But at the same time, like if I think about it, obviously it's pretty easy to like come to the conclusion that like, you know, a self character, an SSF, you know, character found or whatever is not capable of like partying up with people, even not only like gifting or something. There's no partying whatsoever. So that's like used for like races and stuff like that as well, or like a solo challenge basically, if you want to put it that way. So it's like game is restricting you from doing that ever. And my character over here, even though I'm Circle of Fortune, I can actually party with and play with my friends. So that's obviously why. And then the stash is obviously like different on those two too. So even though I said like confusion, it's just like, you know, at the back of my mind, it's like a little bit more foggy, because like there are many things now when it comes to like introducing factions. The interesting thing that I came up is that like this gold over here, you can stack it up on this character, and then you can create a new character, and then you can play on like a Merchant's Guild on your new character, and you will have this gold as well because this account's shared basically, as long as you're not in the solo challenge, right? So that's very interesting. It's incredible in my opinion. So like the next character that I open, perhaps I'm gonna decide to like go for the merchants. I'll not only like have a new progression bar over here, but at the same time I'll be able to, you know, use the bazaar, the auction house, to like buy myself some goodies and see like how that is going to be going. The only thing that I'm curious is that like, is 2 million good gold, or is like 10 million good gold? Like when are you rich? You know, I have no idea about the prices, no clue. Nobody in the stream told me this either, so it's going to be interesting. So therefore I'm actually going to try and like stack some gold on this character, and maybe my next character is going to be Circle of Fortune as well, but perhaps the third character is going to end up like becoming Merchant's Guild, where I'm going to like, you know, use all my currency and try to, I don't know, gear them up for like late game. We'll see. But yeah, my next character is probably going to be a little bit weaker than the one that I'm playing right now. The one that I'm playing right now is like very solid, incredibly tanky. I wouldn't be surprised like if I lose my next character at like level 90 or something. But as long as like I make it to 100 on my first character with this one, I've put so much thought into this, and I really enjoyed playing this character. So like it's going to make me feel good 100%. To getting to like 100 with this guy, it's going to be an achievement, and it will definitely like put some sort of like a solid validation to the build guide as well. That's going to be nice in the hardcore, of course. Will I push corruption, guys? I don't think so. What I would rather do is like I have a lot of LP items, right? Especially like LP2 items over here, some LP3 items over here, not really that valuable, but at the very least still craft something out of them. I would like to like craft them. So if I like to push, I would like to push Julra. Maybe like Julra tier 3. I want to get comfortable fighting her with this character and hopefully not die. And while doing this, I make legendaries for my stash, so that like I can use them with like new characters. And even if I in the future lose this character, you know, I'll have the legendaries instead of like LP items. You know, that's probably the way to go. And I also ended up like finding out that like making these legendary crafts are kind of like cool content as well. I think it's really cool because there's quite a bit of like RNG involved, so you're kind of curious about like what the outcome is going to be. I think I really enjoy the content myself too. So hopefully the devs are going to be able to, I really hope so, fix these like loading issues and server problems so that like people can enjoy Last Epoch, because I think it's a blast, honestly. Like it's such a breath of fresh air in ARPG. It's crazy. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna see you next time. Peace out, YouTube.